Hello, friends. It's Wednesday. It's also my rest day, and it's my rest from makeup day, apparently. I was like, maybe I should get pretty, but we're just going to roll with it because I love talking about the last 3 months of the year. This is my second year of getting through October, November, December, doing the To Be Mindset. And what's so fascinating, I was actually just talking to my chiropractor on Monday. One of the things that you'll see is your friends, hey Lauren, is your friends who in January get super committed, right? Like they feel like crap because they've probably eaten like crap for the last 3 months. And they're like, I'm going to restrict all the things. I'm going to work out like crazy. I'm going to get back in shape. And I would urge you to let that mindset go and don't do that to yourself. That's old diet mentality, and we're not dieters. We are to be mindsetters. So let's wrap our mind about how we can best plan and move forward in a really healthy way. That was creepy. So here's the thing. When we move into the final 3 months of the year, it doesn't matter which holidays you celebrate, there is a focus on food. Raise your hand, comment below if that is you. There's Halloween, there's Thanksgiving, there's usually friends traveling, people getting together, Christmas, Hanukkah, all those things wrapped up in one, and there's always treats. We are learning that it's not about the food, it's about the people, the relationships. So let's talk about how to navigate that. And one tip I would share with you that I want you to work on, and let's practice it this week before we get knee deep in all the occasions, is to pre-plan your treats. Now, I understand that we talk a lot about tracking, and tracking is such a great record of what we've done during the day, how we've balanced our nutrition, where we might have some gaps, how we might not have measured or kind of taken control of some things. But I want you to think about your treats. Hey, Leslie, and I want you to go ahead and pre-plan your treats. But let's take it a step farther. I want you to think about, in general, if you always have Thanksgiving, for example, I know it's not Thanksgiving week, but this is just a great example. If Aunt Sue always makes this incredible pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving and that is your jam, I want you to, in your mind, have that on deck as one of your treats. That's going to be something that you look forward to and you pre-plan that. So maybe this week you have an occasion this weekend. Maybe you're going to a festival. I know it's like harvest festivals and apple picking and things like that. Maybe that's your thing. Maybe you love caramel apples. I don't know. My kids seem to think they're amazing. My dental work won't allow it, but maybe that's your thing. I want you to pre-plan that, okay? The deal with pre-planning, and it can be a really fun cocktail. It could be a fun, I don't know, whatever that thing is for you. When you pre-plan, not only do you give yourself permission, but it gives yourself permission to say no to the things that aren't on your plan. That's why we have a prefrontal cortex. That's why we can plan, why we're not animals, right? The coolest part about this is that it's guilt-free, right? We already talked about being guilt-free, but when you get to that occasion, you know that you are going to eat only and exactly what was on your plan. And then your brain's not up there chattering about, let's have one more piece. Let's have one more scoop. Let's have one more cocktail, right? It's on the plan. We've said yes to the plan. Maybe you said yes to 2 slices of pumpkin pie. I don't know what that is for you, but I want you to think about that. So the first pro tip is to eat only and exactly what you've planned. So be thinking about the situations that you're going to be in, times out, things like that. This can even come down to, you all know, this is your body, your chemistry lab. Things like chocolate, totally on our To Be Mindset protocol. But let's plan it. Let's not make it I'm bored, I'm stressed, I'm lonely, I'm hungry, and let me grab all the things. Make it a special treat, okay? Our deal? Let's move forward with that. All right, so pre-plan your treats, eat only and exactly what you've planned. The second thing I would offer to you is that this is why I did the poll. It's fascinating to me how many people have candy in their house all month long. And Kristen, I love that you didn't have any at all. That is such a temptation. I know that in our larger Reset Your Mindset group, Tina shared a tip and she said, just put it out of sight, out of mind. Like put it in the highest cabinets, don't have it open. Definitely don't have it in a display bowl. I know that's what I used to do, but it's there. It's that visual hunger. You may not be hungry at all. And then you see these little miniature candies and you're like, that looks like a great treat for now. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Now that you've been on To Be Mindset, does it even taste the same? I know for me, the first time I had a piece of Halloween candy after 5 months of To Be Mindset, I was like, it's not even, I didn't like it. And then I was like, why am I even eating this? It's kind of gross. I love my dark chocolate. I have a couple of specific candy bars that I really enjoy, and those are my treats. So I would test that, right? Halloween candy will be here many years from now. Well after you've lost the weight, well after you have felt comfortable in your own skin, well after you have achieved your goals 2 pounds at a time. So keep it out of sight, out of mind. Don't pull it out until October 31st. And if it's really not something that you love, just don't waste your time with it, right? Like, that's not a treat you should spend your caloric intake on. And I would say too, maybe think outside the box. I'm not saying, my kids would shoot me, don't give out pencils and plastic. That's what they would tell me. You could do that. You could do like fun little toys. You could do something that's not necessarily candy related. I actually think I'm going to do Capri Suns and water bottles this year, just because I feel like that's another way to keep people hydrated, keep people not so sugar laden. And we can reuse those later, but I don't want all that candy in my house. So that's tip number 2. So candy is going to be here well after October 31st. Make your choices wisely and maybe make a pass on all that, because Halloween candy, I don't know, not my jam. Maybe one little Reese's cup. That's another story. And then the third tip I would offer to you is that since it is a one-day celebration, November 1, Halloween is done. All that candy that's left over, take it to a shelter, take it to a dentist. A lot of dental practices will do a buyback. Donate it to your school, take it to the fire station. There are so many places that will take candy that's obviously unopened, but get it out of your house because your kids don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need the temptation. I used to keep it around. This is like, and maybe you identify with this, not from a hoarding perspective, but kind of in that spendthrift perspective. Like, I already spent the money on it. I could use it in a dessert. I could bake with it. I could use it for something later. Don't do that. It's not worth diminishing the progress that you've made thus far. Just stay on course, right? Keep that focus because you're gonna continue to lose 2 pounds at a time. And these principles aren't just Halloween principles. I keep seeing this butterfly fly by, which is super cool, but it's very distracting. So these can be principles for Thanksgiving, any of the holiday celebrations that you go to in November, and then December and getting ready for New Year's. All of this is elemental to your success. So, do we have a deal? We're going to move forward into the last 3 months of the year, these last 90 days of the decade, thinking about how we can eat only and exactly what's on our plan, what we've agreed to do. That's so much more rewarding. You build that chain of integrity with yourself. It is the best thing that you can do for yourself. So we're going to eat only exactly those treats and call them out, those treats that you love, right? I'd love to see below. Tell me what your favorite treats are. And then as far as candy, if you have it in the house, store it away, pull it out on October 31st, or look at an alternative treat. Let me know what you're doing for Halloween. Are you a Halloween celebrator, or do you abstain from that? And then number 3, November 1, Halloween is done, everything out of the house. So let's make a plan as a team, as a sisterhood, as a family. Let's get that stuff up and out. Bless someone else. Here's a little fun fact for you. Alana shared this last year in a group, and I thought this was just amazing. She said there was a drugstore, I think, that was transitioning over. It was like a Walgreens turning into something else, but they had to get rid of all their inventory. And they took all the candy to a food bank. And the food bank owner, listen up, y'all are going to just drop the mic on this one. The food bank owner said that we won't accept your candy. And they were like, why won't you accept the candy? And the food bank owner said, our mission and our promise is to help the people that come here fulfill their lives, have nourishing food, have things that make their life better and decrease their medical load. So we won't accept anything with high sugar and high fructose corn syrup and all of that kind of stuff. And when she shared that with me, I was like, oh, that's amazing, right? Like, that is what it's all about. Of course, I just told you to give your candy away, but they can send it to the troops who will enjoy it. But my point is this. If a food pantry doesn't want it, we probably shouldn't be putting it in our body either in very small amounts. So get rid of it. Don't sabotage your progress. And you all are awesome. You're making so much progress. Yes, that's the thing. So Leslie just said, agreed. I've decided that it's always okay to throw away foods that aren't healthy, even if we spent good money on it. I love that. And that just, gosh, it gives me chills because there's so much of, I think a lot of us that are very similar ages, maybe we had post-depression era parents, maybe that survived things where money was tighter. Money is always something. Finances are always something we should be a good steward of. But how many times have we gone out to eat? Maybe we splurged on a dessert. We didn't eat all of it. We brought it home. And then it's in the refrigerator calling us, and then we want to take little nibbles. Just get rid of it, right? Your progress is more important. You feeling fully alive is more important. You achieving your goals is far more important. And if it was date night, you still have that great memory. You don't need the dessert to remind you. So agreed. When in doubt, throw it out. If it's not on our plan, let's get rid of it. Love you guys. Let's keep trucking together.